Let's talk about hooch, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Yep, let's talk about hooch. What the heck is hooch? Have you heard that term? I know I have. What the heck is hooch, and what does it have to do with my sourdough starter? So, number one, hooch is a liquid that may appear sometimes at the top of your sourdough starter. Okay, and initially it will be clear. If you let it last for a while, it actually turns darker. So what is it? Is it just water? Is my starter just producing dark colored water? What's going on? Well, actually, hooch is alcohol. Okay? Once your yeast in your starter have consumed all of the food that's in the starter and they go into that dormant state, which is what happens when the starter reaches its peak and then it starts to fall. The yeast is starting to get dormant. After it goes into that complete dormant state, then the yeast starts to produce a byproduct of alcohol, of all things. Yes, alcohol. And that alcohol rises to the top and we call it hooch. So that little puddle of liquid that you're seeing at the top of your starter is actually alcohol byproduct of your yeast. Okay? Now, why is your yeast producing alcohol? That has to be the next logical question, right? It absolutely has to be. And there's one very, very valid reason. It's hungry. That's it. If your starter is producing hooch, it means your yeast is hungry. Doesn't mean it's dead. Doesn't mean you've ruined it. Doesn't mean there's a problem. In fact, there is no problem. Your yeast is just communicating with you and telling you, hey, don't forget to feed me. Don't forget to feed me. So, feed it. That's what hooch means. Okay? So, again, to recap very, very quickly, what is hooch? It is a liquid that will appear at the top of your starter if you haven't fed it for sometimes half a day even. Okay? Sometimes you may miss a couple days and you'll come back and see that liquid. It is alcohol that's produced by the yeast to send you a signal to say, hey, you forgot to feed me. Please feed me. So, feed your yeast, feed your starter, everything will be good. One more thing before I go. People ask all the time, so it's alcohol. Do I mix it back in? Do I pour it out? Completely up to you. I've heard and seen bakers who say, oh, you must pour it off, and others who say just mix it back in. It doesn't make a difference. It won't affect your starter any if you pour it off, and it won't affect your starter any if you mix it in. Completely up to you. Personally, I just mix it back in because I don't want one more step of having to pour it off and then somehow thinking about messing up, pouring it off and pouring all my starter down the drain. That's crazy. So I just mix it back in. You can decide you want to pour it off. Doesn't matter. Won't hurt your starter any. Just feed it. All right, guys. If you've liked this video, please make sure to like, comment, share down below. I've got other great videos on the terminology that we use in sourdough, explaining those to you, demystifying those. Please take a look at those.